Dillon Danis, why the UFC should sign him, why it would be a smart move by the UFC and everybody will profit from that move. I will tell you all about it in this video, guys. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Yo, assalamu alaikum, my niggas, what's good?
Before you start the search for Dillon Danis on the Blood Wall of Fame, he's not on it. If he should be on it, write it in the comments. Should Dillon Danis be on the wall? Write in the comments, guys. So Dillon Danis, everybody should know him by now, right? He's trying to get into the UFC. He said, either I get to the UFC or that's it for my combat career. He also then posted that, yeah, I'm retired, which gave us the feeling like, hey, okay, the negotiations with the UFC probably didn't go well. But I can tell you, the UFC doesn't negotiate in 5 minutes normally, especially with a guy like Dillon Danis. They will not just sit in the room and say, hey, we want you or we don't want you. Dillon Danis, in my opinion, is probably still in negotiations, and I will tell you why they should sign him. So you probably think, or most people think, Dillon Danis, why should they sign him? He only fought bombs in Bellator, that was moons ago, and he just lost to Logan Paul, and this and that. Listen, guys. Listen! He lost his boxing match, yes, that's true. It definitely doesn't help him to negotiate, 100%, because he also didn't look great in that fight, not at all. But that doesn't really matter for this case. Because you have to see, now is the perfect timing for Dillon Danis to make a case to get into the UFC. Because what is around the corner? UFC 300. Who will maybe potentially headline UFC 300?
Who?
Conor McGregor. Who is Conor McGregor good friends with? Dillon Danis. Who has the power as a fighter to call Dana and say, hey, this guy comes in the UFC today, and Dana says, okay, buddy, no problem. Conor McGregor. And it's not that Conor is calling for a, 2-0 guy from the regional scenes that no one knows. He's calling for a guy with many million followers on Instagram. A big star. And let's be honest here, the UFC is a profit-oriented organization. This is no secret. The UFC has also done this stuff before. If they sign a guy like CM Punk, whatever you try to tell me, they didn't sign the CM Punk thinking, okay, CM might be the next UFC champion. They knew, hey, maybe he will win a few fights, would be optimum. Maybe he will lose all his fights, then he will just be a failed project in a way. But he will bring a lot of eyes to the sport, a lot of eyes to the UFC, and a lot of money, revenue, because people will tune in to watch him.
What's also better than money? More fucking money.
CM Punk is a big draw. And Dillon Danis, whether you like him or not, he's a big draw. Whether you like him or not, he had the highest selling pay-per-view from this year. And whether you like it or not, it sold because of him. Whatever you try to tell me, the pay-per-view, this boxing stuff, Misfits, whatever it's called, it sold only because of Dillon. No one tuned in, of course, taking away the people that live, in their cities and whatever, or their families or stuff. No one tuned in to watch Tommy Fury against KSI. Maybe a few little Prime fanboys tuned in to watch Logan Paul. But the majority of people tune in because of Dillon Danis. Either because they love him and want to see him win, or because they hate him and want to see him get knocked out, and it doesn't matter.
Who cares? Who cares, brother? Who cares, brother? Who cares?
It doesn't matter if you, whoever you are, like Dillon Danis or hate him. It doesn't matter. It's about if you care. And some people will say, I don't care. You care. If you watch this video, you care. You know what I mean? Dillon Danis draws a lot of attention. Many people want to see him get knocked out. Who cares? All those people who want to see him get knocked out will tune in. The UFC does this stuff. They don't do it all the time, but they will definitely consider it if it's Conor's best friend and he has that much fame behind him, and he's also much easier to sell than CM Punk because he is a martial artist. He might not be the best boxer, but he is a phenomenal grappler. Whatever you try to tell me, yeah, his black belt record is not the best. Who cares? How many guys in the UFC have a better black belt record than Dillon Danis in the welterweight division? Not many, you know what I mean? So Dillon Danis is a phenomenal jiu-jitsu guy who has had professional MMA fights. It's not like he's coming from the WWE like many other guys that the UFC signed before, or guys who come from the NFL like Greg Hardy and stuff. He's a official MMA fighter. He hasn't fought in a long time, yes. He's an undefeated MMA guy still who has several world championships in jiu-jitsu with, I think, like 4 million followers on Instagram and however many million followers on Twitter or X. This is a no-brainer. Sign him. You have nothing to lose. If he loses, if he gets knocked out, dump him. Who cares? But you signed him. And don't come with contenders here or something like that. It doesn't make any sense. Dillon Danis should be on wherever Conor fights. If it's UFC 300, if it's International Fight Week, there's many rumors. Dillon Danis should be on the Conor McGregor card, and this needs to happen. What is your opinion on this? Write it in the comments, guys. Should Dillon Danis get signed by the UFC? Should they dump him and just leave him retired? Whatever. Should he go back to jiu-jitsu competitions? Write it all in the comments, guys. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and most importantly, that you get signed by the UFC. Make sure to get your sleep in. Until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.